welcome to episode number 9 of the Eavesdrop podcast. Special edition, 6050 Russell Drive. Unfortunately, we couldn't have Joey here. Joey Merck DeLuca was supposed to be here because he was one of the original founding members of the 6050 Russell Drive podcast. And I am a little bit upset at the fact that, where is my notebook?
Seth had the sheet of paper. I saw him with it.
You slammed it on the ground a few moments ago while we were
How was that
working
my
on the audio.
responsibility?
Well, I'm just saying you had the sheet of paper in your hand. I'm not saying you took it. Or
It's over there on the table.
This is very 60-50, yes?
Hector's just unprepared is what it comes down
No,
to.
it's
what I
not.
mean.
You know what it is?
wing
It's partly my team's fault.
Well, hey.
We were
you
supposed to
lead-
start 43 minutes ago.
I know,
the
but
good
you
thing-
lead from the top down, Hector.
I did.
Everything falls on the leader.
I was here. You know what I'm saying?
All right. Well, I was here too. It's all good.
Well, anyway,
I was here.
I was here. He said, bro, Seth keeps on looking at his
No, it sucks that we can't have Joey here, but it's tough. This all came together because I came to California. Well, I'm sorry. I came to Texas on a whim, and when we decided that we were going to do the podcast, we figured we have to get Joey here.
Yeah.
He was one of the founding members of the OpTic Russell Drive crib.
Yep.
But he's busy. He's in Ohio. He's got a wife.
Yeah, and
It's
he
tough.
had a couple of his friends. I called him, and I was going to fly him in today, this morning, or yesterday, last night, so he can hang out. But, you know, we had a bit of a good time, rowdy time. Anyway, so, you know, with that said, Joey, wish you were here. We are going to do one together, an Eavesdrop podcast. So let's get on with the podcast. I want to start from the very, very beginning. Okay, what made the 6050 Russell Drive house, the OpTic house, happen, and everything that happened inside that house. So, from the beginning, okay?
I don't know if we can share all that.
Well, we're going to share a lot.
Got pretty weird.
It did get pretty weird.
J-Cap and his damn Pop-Tarts, dude.
Yeah.
No, cosmic brownies.
No,
And the
but
True Moo. He was all of them. Pop-Tarts, True
No
Moo.
cap.
And the brownie ice cream.
Yeah, brownie ice
that
cream.
fudge brownie ice cream is banging though. I still eat it to this day.
Cap loves chocolate.
We're jumping the gun here.
We're jumping the gun. Anyway, so the way that I remember it coming to be was Will, Merck, Rambo, and Seth left OpTic to join Apex, and as part of the
I was trying to play, bro.
Nade,
no loyalty.
What's wrong with that?
Nade started
No,
laughing.
there's no
We were
loyalty.
trying to play, and OpTic wasn't letting us play.
There's no
The only
loyalty,
chance, man.
No, so the reason that we couldn't, they wanted to travel overseas to compete. They did. They went down there and destroyed the EU competition. The Europeans had not seen that sort of level of gameplay from the Go Timer ever.
Nope.
Ever.
Until Seth's, what was it you kept complaining about? We went down there like 4 times. We won 3 tournaments, and the 4th one, we were
They
gonna
opened the
win.
hangar door, and it was
That's what it
negative
was.
10 outside.
The
EGLA.
whole time.
Yeah.
EGLA. Yeah, we came
EGLA.
in second place because the whole finals, we were up 3-0, right? And then they came back. I think they reverse swept us.
They
and
opened,
TCM.
they opened the hangar door.
TCM, I remember.
It was cold. I was at that event.
It
Not
was
playing for
cold, but
OpTic, but it
Jesus.
was
Bro,
cold.
we were
on the
slaying
side
'em.
closer. I was losing my shit. It was like negative 10 outside.
Seth made no call outs the
They
entire
opened a
finals.
hangar door, like where you put the back of a truck into to deliver stuff.
They did do that. That was dumb. But
Why would they do
It
that?
was
We're-
freezing in there.
We're in finals. It was
Yeah.
negative 10 outside.
Damn, Seth gets shook easily, huh?
Yeah, over that.
Yeah, so what's crazy is that
Lost-
it was in a massive warehouse, and it was supposed to end a couple hours ago, but as you guys know, tournaments sometimes go a little bit longer than they should have. They never stay on time because of production issues, timing issues, whatever. So we were there a little bit longer than we should have. And we were there a little bit longer than we should have. And all of a sudden, they had to open it up and start letting the workers in. So they were loading in.
wait, is that what it was?
Yeah.
Wait,
Oh, I thought it just got too hot in the
my
warehouse.
keys are.
Hold on a second.
Seth's got food.
So for everyone,
I think my keys are on my desk. What's funny?
we're going to cut this part.
Dude, how can you blame me? I have not 8, it's 4.
Oh, don't cut. This is chemistry.
It's
All
4.
right,
is
so
very
just so for
60-50,
those of you
yes.
who are listening on either Google Podcast, iTunes, SoundCloud, Spotify, or any other major audio device platform that you listen podcast in, because we're syndicated across all of them, the Eavesdrop podcast is.
very nice.
Seth, knowing that we're going to do the podcast, ordered. What did you order it from? Where?
The Green Gator.
The Green Gator.
That shit sounds fire, son.
Yeah. Gator. What type of food they have there?
I got fettuccine Alfredo with shrimp.
Let me get some shrimp.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, that's the reason they opened up the thing to let the workers in, and the wind was just coming in and out.
This was back in 2000. This is 2011.
Yep.
This is actually the end of 2010,
Yep.
kind of, because
No,
it
11.
was Modern Warfare 3.
2012 then. 2011 was Black Ops 1.
Was it?
No, 2011 was Black Ops 1. Oh, did MW3 come after Black Ops 1?
Yeah.
Oh,
MW2,
man.
Black Ops 1, then
Yeah, I was gonna
yeah.
say, because that's my timeline.
Yeah.
I was
Dude,
on
but Modern
Leverage
Warfare
first.
3 is an underrated Call of Duty. That was a great game.
It was. It was too dull, the colors. Anyway, so you guys come back, and I guess the Apex guys weren't paying you guys, and it was, I believe at the time, was $400 a month.
I think it was 5. It was something like that.
It was something like that, and I remember, we were with Imagine Customs, a controller company that doesn't no longer exist.
Yeah, because they made trash ass controllers. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Imagine that was the guy from Arkansas, wasn't
They
it?
were spray painting controllers.
Yeah.
sending them to
Yeah,
me.
he went to the
Doesn't need to
same
be said.
At the
college. I
time,
did.
though, it was cool as hell. No,
Yeah.
I'm just being.
Anyway, so-
I think I had one. It was pretty dope, actually.
Yeah, they made one specifically for you guys.
Yeah.
And for some reason, every single time that Nadeshot requested a collar, you what?
No, this is why. This is why I didn't like Imagine Customs controllers.
Yeah, because Nate said, "It's like, what colors do you like?" He's like, "Purple, yellow," and then they sent them a purple and yellow controller, and I'm like, "Come on, man! Like, put a little thought behind the design of what it is that you're doing." Anyway, guys, let's focus. All right, so
Hold on. For the record, they literally spray painted that thing.
There was
just
no
yellow and
design, it was
purple.
just
They
yellow
just
and
like
purple.
hung it up against the wall and just spray painted colors and sent it to me. And it sat in my trunk for years, never used it.
Nice.
never use
But
it.
all of your guys' controllers were dope. All right. Yeah, listen, man, we need to keep this moving. So we're talking about, it was the original team, Apex. You guys come back over to OpTic, and that's when the thought of a house came into fruition, right?
Yeah, so we had to make some changes in the team, and that's when we replaced Rambo with Nadeshot. And as part of this
Boy,
whole,
I was scheming.
Boy,
on that
did
one.
we-
Not to
fuck
mess up the timeline, but didn't it all start? It's crazy that we're meeting here in Dallas because I remember the very, very first conversation about a house being here at MLG Dallas. What was the bar we ate at or what? It was right there next to the venue, next to
Julio's?
the convention center.
Uncle Julio's. It was Uncle Julio's.
I remember sitting in a corner, and I think it was
Was I there? I don't remember this.
Black Ops 1. It was us three, and Joey.
Yeah.
And we talked about moving to somewhere, moving to Chicago.
Yeah, moving to
So we were out to
Chicago.
a team dinner.
Nah, it was like during the event. I think it was in between matches or something. But
Oh,
that's just
really?
like, yeah, I remember that being the very first
Wait,
conversation.
hold on, because now I'm confused. Because I remember Black Ops 1 or one of the Call of Duties, it was supposed to be me, Merc, JCap, and Sidrock.
That
gonna
was
be the
right
OpTic
after.
team.
Yeah, that was right after.
Is that when you guys went to Apex?
That team would have been ass.
No, that's when
Sidrock and JCap were nasty.
you guys played a tournament, right?
No,
because that was right after MW2.
No. We started our team, and then all of a sudden, Sidrock fucked off and got a real job. Didn't tell anybody, so we weren't scrimming. So we dropped him, and then who did we pick up? Listen, man, we are way off course
Okay,
here.
if you guys,
We gotta-
if you guys,
There's so much.
If you guys let me go down this line, we will be on track.
All right, well, no, we're going off on tangents. Let me just reel it back in
Yes,
from my
please do.
perspective
Yes, please.
of the OpTic house.
Please do.
I was living with my ex-girlfriend at the time, and things just were not going well. And I would leave my apartment and I would go hang out at Hector's house. This is when we started to become really, really good friends because it just so happened that I was from Chicago and so was Hector. And so I would spend time at his house, which was about 15 minutes away from that first apartment that I moved into that I was living in. And we started a YouTube live streaming series called The Basement. And it was just him and I playing game battles matches together in his unfinished basement. And that was like my sanctuary. And I had so much fun because Hector's humor and my humor and Hector's were very similar, and we just enjoyed hanging out with each other. You know, he's like 12 years older than me, but we were still really, really, really good friends. And so from my perspective, that entire time, I was trying to get onto the competitive team because at that moment, I felt like I was as good as Rambo, and I could bring a lot more to the table from a lot of different perspectives. Yeah, I mean, I know. Rambo is really good, dude. And listen, I can't sit here and say who's better or whatnot because, of course, I'm not going to admit that somebody's better than me.
Of course not.
But I was playing with Seth quite a bit and streaming with him and making YouTube videos together. And Seth was trying to get onto YouTube as well. And he was doing a pretty good job. So him and I were playing tournaments and we were spending a lot of time. And so I started, planting that seed.
Sorry.
What?
Yeah, I was doing a pretty good, doing all right,
No, he was. No, you were. All right. So anyway, We move into the house.
He just started laughing.
It was.
Whoa, I was getting there.
Okay, yeah.
I was planting the seed into Seth's head. Let me get onto the team.
Yeah.
You guys finally drop Rambo. We bring it all together. You and I start talking about what a house would actually look like in Chicago.
Yep.
And I was clinging on to that idea for dear life because I had to get out of that apartment.
Yeah.
And finally, Hector started making power plays, went and toured houses. And here's the food. Seth's food is coming in, hand delivered. And take it from there.
Anyway, so we finally found a house in Hoffman Estates. Judith had been doing a lot of research, and she was the one in charge of finding the houses and everything that was affordable within the parameters that would allow us to continue to have the business be like for what it was. It's not even a business at that point, I don't think, or it was, but. Scump came on the scene and they're like, I'll give you the money that you need to pay these guys the $400 a month. And I'm like, okay, cool. So they come back from Apex and then I say, yo guys, if we want to do this house, I'm just gonna reallocate your $400 that you're getting as payment and I'm gonna use that to pay the house. And that's when we moved into the house. Day one.
Yeah, I was about to say, were you guys getting paid salary? I wasn't getting paid nothing.
Nope.
I don't remember this.
100%. I have the brothers. It's a catalog.
Yeah, I don't remember that either.
Hold up.
I mean, maybe we did. I do remember that conversation of saying we're going to take your
Yeah.
What
salary
were our
and
salaries
then
back then?
$400.
It was like $400 a month.
I wasn't getting paid $400.
At the point when we first moved into the house, our salary was $400.
bro,
Did
we
we get
struggled.
finessed? No.
Yo, we were getting milked.
Okay, well, first of all,
Are you kidding me?
first of all,
Milk me, brother.
First of all, you're welcome. Okay.
What do you mean you're welcome?
Seth, you
we
would not be
get
sitting
paid
there.
$400 a month.
We weren't really doing much for the.
And we
at that-
sacrificed that.
Sacrifice what?
The $400 a month to be able to pay the house.
No, you sacrificed $400 a month to be who you are today.
Yeah, that sacrifice is what catapulted everybody to be
The
what
sacrifice
they
was
are
an
now.
investment into all of our futures.
For sure.
Seth, look at the future and the brighter future.
Hindsight's
at that.
20/20, Seth.
Hindsight's 20/20.
You got it.
we
Unlike your
we
eyesight.
did it pretty good.
My hindsight's
Yeah, you missed it.
2200, bro. I
Yeah.
can't even see
I'm,
fucking.
like, I'm sitting next to him, guys, if you guys are listening. And I tried to give him a high five, and we missed. Anyway, so moving day it's literal boxes and air mattresses. And on the first night, you guys all slept in the living room.
That was for a little bit, too.
That was
yeah.
the best night, the little slumber party. Like
That was
old-
cool,
old
man.
school.
Now we did that for like the first week.
Yeah, that's what I
That was
thought.
so much fun, man. We were just mobbing around together, hitting Target, just excited for the future, going to Chipotle, coming back. We didn't have any furniture.
We still didn't have much furniture for a long time. We just moved the air mattresses from the living room into our actual rooms. I
Yeah,
think I
you
slept
know
on an air
what?
mattress for like a year.
Yeah, why did we
I
not?
don't know, but I gotta be honest with you. This is something that I've always thought about. I was trying to be like humble and I had the first crack at the rooms.
Yeah, of
Hector
course.
said I got to pick first.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to be the selfish guy and pick the big room.
How does the new guy get the first
Well,
pick?
first of all, he wasn't the new. He may have been the new guy on the team.
Yeah, what the-
right? But he's been on the team longer than you, and at the time, he was taking off on Twitch, and because of that,
King of the Castle.
look at
Bro,
me.
I've been an update since 2010. Listen, man,
saying the competitive
don't get me
team.
on this loyalty rant, because I'll do it. I'll talk about everybody. I'll come for everyone,
He's
bro.
gonna hand
Free
out smoke.
Boys in blue.
Damn. Okay. Woo.
Where's this going?
All right, bro, okay, Matt gets first pick of the rooms.
Yeah.
No, I'm
so-
just saying, bro, no loyalty to OpTic is my issue.
No, I'm not. Just proceed.
Yeah, so first crack at the rooms. One thing that I'm still incredibly salty about is I didn't want to be, too conceited and take like the nicest room.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? I like this room in the back, nice and cozy.
The smallest one.
It ended up being the smallest room, the AC, and the only thing that worked in that goddamn room was the heat. And even in the summer, the winter, it was a fucking dungeon in there. And I still regret it to this day. I should have picked Will's room.
Will's
and then
room
Embo's moved in there.
My room. Wait, you're talking about the one up
Oh,
top?
Merck's room. Or who was living in the big one?
Merc.
Was Merck in there?
Wait, the
Yeah,
master
because
bedroom?
Seth was in the you
pink
walk up
room.
the stairs and Seth was in the pink room. You were in the tiniest room, and then Merc was in the biggest room upstairs, and then the master bedroom was the streaming setup.
I just don't remember Merck living in there.
No, Joe was downstairs. I was up top.
Yeah,
At the very first. When you walk up the stairs and went to the right? Yeah, I slept in there
he
for like
was.
6 months, and then when Joe moved out, I moved downstairs into
Those are facts.
the
Those are
mustard
facts.
walls with no closet.
Like,
I had the same room.
What did you guys when you guys were sleeping in the living room? What were you guys like? There was no TV yet.
Yeah, we just slept in the living room together on air mattresses.
And what I'm struggling to figure out is like you guys are all sleeping in mattresses in the living room
In our underwear.
In your underwear.
Yeah.
And what were you guys talking about? That like at what point were you guys just like, all right, I'm going to sleep, everybody shut up?
Well, I mean, I don't mean to speak for everybody, but I think everybody was just like on cloud nine, just sky high. Like we finally have all been playing video games for trying to make this a living, and now like we had some of our closest friends living in a house together. It was just talking about everything and anything. It's like it seemed like the nights never ended then.
Yeah, it was like a nervous excitement for me because I had just moved from Arkansas, and like nobody in my immediate family or anyone I know like gets out of Northeast Arkansas for the most part. So moving to Chicago, I was
How old were you?
excited. When we moved,
Yeah.
I was
22?
5 years ago, 6 years. Yeah, 22, 23, something like that. So I just dropped out of college. I was 10 classes away from graduating. I'm still 10 classes away from graduating.
Did you? No, you didn't even go to college, right?
No, I went straight. I literally,
You went to the majors.
I went from my graduation day. I remember I graduated and then very next day I left. Like no, my summer like break that people have, I just skipped it. I think
That spring that we moved in, you graduated from high school?
I'm pretty sure I graduated and then moved straight in.
Do you remember that we
dedication.
streamed that, or somebody was streaming it? And
My graduation?
yeah.
Yeah, my school did, and the internet found it, and they were like all going crazy. My principal said Scumpy.
Yeah.
Everyone was going nuts. Yeah,
Yeah.
there was like 7,000 viewers or something.
Those 7,000.
awesome.
Wow.
Yeah, those 7,000 viewers. We were all watching, and then here he comes. I remember he had his maroon robe, like bright red head coming out of the little flat top bill thing, and in the internet's like the principal said Scumpy, and then the chat just said.
I don't remember that.
Wait, did I move in right after graduation?
Yeah, you had to have because you were. You had to have because you moved in on the exact same date that everybody else did. Because I remember like walking around with my T2i. It was like a T2i, a Rebel T2i, and I was recording everyone. And I remember clearly forgetting to turn on the audio on the microphone. So I have all this footage, mind you. And as everybody was walking in and picking, I forgot to turn the volume on. So Matt saying, you know what, guys, I'm gonna take the smallest room. We're gonna use this room for the streaming. Merck's or BigT's here, Seth's here, like that. Like there was no audio on that. So that was like one of my biggest regrets. Missing that audio and missing the audio where I recorded the call where they told us that we were joining the LCS. Two things that I regret. But all right, so we get into the streaming, into the streaming room, and immediately we started to figuring things out as we went in there because you guys were so close together in the setups that we didn't take into account that there was going to be echo. More importantly, we didn't take into the account that obviously if everybody pushes stream at the same time, there's still going to be a different delay because of the connectivity of the internet.
Right.
So it was one of those things where like he would echo, and he was like the most vocal about the echo, right? Remember he was telling Seth,
I didn't really have an issue, like at all.
I don't know. I've just always been super compulsive over the quality of things that I've done. So the echo really bothered me, and being all in the same room. And at that time, streaming was not nearly as prevalent. I mean, I think Twitch just had started. It converted from Justin TV,
Yeah.
and so all of like the technological advances that you see, and everybody now has like a professional grade production studio in their living room or their office at home. But at that time, we were just using Astro mix amps with headsets. I mean, even now, you could have studio mics in that room if we wanted to do that.
Yeah.
Like, say we went back with all the equipment we have now, that would have been such a cool room. Like, we wouldn't have had many issues.
Nope.
But on top of that, the internet was another hurdle because we had to have 4 individual business lines
That was
installed
yeah.
into the house. And I
remember
wasn't
that.
sure if they were going to be able to do it. And no, they had never done that before at a residential location. So we kind of jumped in, like we were building the plane while we were flying. I didn't have a ton of foresight. I wasn't sure if it would all come together, but somehow we found a way with our Home Depot fold-out chairs and tables.
Yeah. You know what's wild about that, and then you can touch on this a little bit. Obviously, you had like the farthest seat away. You were on.
Yeah, I was by the window over there.
Yeah,
in
you
the
were by the
bathroom.
window. You were next to Merck, and then Merck, Seth on the biggest wall, and then you were individually. And you two were like the closest ones that were together. And the whole time when we were moving in there, obviously at the time, like tournaments weren't a means to make ends meet, right? Obviously, the competitive scene back there didn't have the price pools that would allow you to make a living off of that. So very early on, the second that we moved in there, we said, all right, we're gonna create YouTube videos, right? Because even then, like Twitch ads weren't really paying that much. So
I don't even think when we first moved in, I don't even think Twitch had a subscription model yet.
No.
It was all just like
Did it not?
run mid-rolls. No, they introduced that a little bit later, if I'm not mistaken.
it was all ads, all of them.
Those 2.5 minutes we used to talk about.
Oh, brother, we would.
How many we would
Oh man, some of the funniest moments happened in those.
2.5.
Yeah. So you have to understand, right? Obviously, these kids at the time kids, almost young adults, leave their traditional homes or their traditional living to make a living off of video games. So figuring that out as well, like how to best capitalize on the opportunity was like super. It was almost intuitive because you guys knew what to do, how to like run the 2.5s. So 2.5 ads, so you guys know, is pretty much 2.5 minutes worth of ads that you would run, so you can capitalize on the CPM. Am I?
Yeah, just give me the most relevant.
Dude, I remember every single morning we were always like so excited. We'd always be like, yo, how much you make on your ads yesterday?
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, I think it was an off day on the CPM. I think like we'd have like an off day and we'd be like freaking out about it.
Well,
I just remember that specifically.
No,
We'd be like, what's going on? Why isn't it working like it did yesterday?
Yeah.
No, I think it was an incredible moment. 'Cause I think Hector hit it on the head. I mean, even now, I think it's still difficult to make ends meet off of prize earnings altogether.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And for competitive players back then, salaries were not anywhere as inflated as they are now today. And so the fact that we were able to like have a tangible income every single day from just going live and streaming was just an unbelievable feeling. So of course we were all talking about like, holy shit, when I ran an ad at this time, like look how much money it made me, and it was like a brand new world. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, one of the things one of the things that we proved by moving into the 60/50 house was the fact that we were going to be a content first like team and then competition second, because there had been the team houses that had happened in the past, but none of them were a house of YouTubers, right? None of them were a house of people that were going to be creating content, streaming, but also creating content on YouTube together. And when we hit live for the first time ever, that was the first time ever that Call of Duty was at the #1 spot on Twitch, ever. No time before that, not even during tournaments, was it bigger than League of Legends, was it bigger than StarCraft. It had never hit the top. And I remember it clearly because I have screenshots that I sent over to Sonny and Sepso, and it was just all four of you guys, just from top to bottom, right? And it was 30,000 viewers between you four, sorry. And I remember like being super proud of that, and the internet was going wild. And at the time, Twitter's algorithm really wasn't that well. Twitter wasn't as big as it is right now, so we could make anything trend within like 10. Well, it was maybe like 5 minutes. Everything would trend. Yep. Just by tweeting something out. Anyway, so we hit live, and we see that it's working immediately. We see like the return in the house. Proving the concept that the house was going to be like a content driven house first, by focusing on the content. And for you guys, and this is a question for you, Seth, like. How easy was it for you to pick, content and making a living over competition and winning championships? Because obviously you had to balance it, and you had to pick obviously one over the other, because you can't be the best at something unless you focus on something.
I mean, the way I saw it was that with Black Ops 2 League play, the way I saw it was you could do content while still maintaining and being the best, and it was actually good for it. A lot of people have stamped my success as being a competitive player in playing public matches and just playing the game a lot. And while doing that, obviously you're streaming it. So there wasn't really picking.
Yeah, they kind of feed off each other.
There was one point when we did pick. I remember we all got in an argument. I'm trying to remember exactly what it was about.
Minecraft.
No, was it Minecraft? Whenever we all got really, really, really mad about not practicing one day, or someone wasn't playing. I can't remember what it was.
Because we started playing Minecraft and we started seeing even more inflated like viewer numbers. Because what you were saying is it started working immediately, and thank God we didn't have to go through like a few months of grinding with no viewers, and then we probably would have ended up just abandoning it a few months in. Because for me, it was like a leap of faith. Because Matt had already been making videos. You had been making videos forever. You had already had what's the montage? MW2. Your montage already had like a few million views at the
The
time.
worst montage ever.
First of all,
Don't get him started on that. Sorry.
Yeah. It was ahead
It
of
was
its
great
time for
montage,
sure.
man. You're really good at sniping
was.
on Call of Duty.
thank you.
But yeah, I had solely came from
Winking.
I solely came from a competitive background, so it was good for me to see like from the moment we hit live that it worked. From the moment I posted my first YouTube video, it started working. So it didn't take like a lot of convincing after that to see, hey, you can do this alongside your competitive games and kind of just have that additional revenue and some sort of like, I don't know, job security. Even when you're creating content, you still don't have a lot of job security, but it at least felt a little more, I don't know.
Stable?
A little more stable in that way.
There was actually a lot of distaste from some of our fan base because they thought that we were too focused on content and didn't care enough about winning.
See, I don't remember that.
Well,
as much.
no, there was really a moment in time where like our audience was incredibly divided, where they loved the fact that we were streaming all of our matches, but Will is right. We started playing Minecraft and more people started watching. We did Hunting OpTic with Syndicate, and I mean, it was just...
Let's not get ahead of that.
We were still getting third, though. It's not like we were going there and getting smoked.
But at that time, third place for OpTic Gaming, everybody thought that we were fucking terrible.
Right.
But in
and
reality,
even we weren't used
they
to
still
coming
think
in
we're
third.
terrible.
in reality
Third
now,
place.
like
Things-
we always joke about this, like third place is pretty good.
Things have not changed on that front. We get third, you guys fucking suck. Go play more. What do you do? But just to wrap up that question in particular, I think that playing the game as much as we did, I wasn't really a part of the Minecraft thing. I mean, I played it a little bit at the start.
What do you mean? I was running your pockets in TNT run.
Okay, yeah. See, that's why people think that I played Minecraft. I really never played it. Like, I never touched it. And I think I was one of the only ones. I don't think Joey did either.
No.
Minecraft was more of these two.
Because we're
But, so...
no, and you. No.
Is that blood on your hand?
Say it again.
On your finger? Is that blood?
No.
Cut?
No, that's it's ink.
Are you bleeding?
Yeah, I thought that was a cut too. But, like... what I'm trying to say, long story short, is that me playing as much Call of Duty as I did helped
hand
me
in
with
hand.
competitive, and I never really had to pick because even while not practicing, scrimming, whatever, I was still playing more than everyone else.
And you never really strayed away from that either. Like you never
Dude,
really
I
got
played
into
8
like the
hours of league
vlogs.
play every day.
Yeah,
That
but
was
even-
like my thing. I just
yeah.
played league play all day, every day. Right?
Yeah, you were grinding.
That's what I said. So like that's what I'm saying. So I didn't really put backseat in the competitive. I sort of just found a good balance for the two.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it just sort of...
Yeah, for me and from my perspective, like I always knew that if we were able to build an audience, I don't know why, but I always had this like thought in my head that I'm like, if we sell more T-shirts than anybody else, we win. Like that's the way to build a business, just selling more T-shirts than anybody else.
Right.
In my head, that was the simplest way to state it. But in reality, what I was saying is like if we had the biggest fan base, we were going to be able to capitalize a little bit more. Luckily, this guy was already sort of revolutionizing Call of Duty in streaming because not only just because of the twerking.
Come on, man.
Twerk.
That was a dark time. I go back and watch that shit. I'm
I
like,
still see that pop up on my Twitter
Yeah,
every.
dude,
no,
kids
I
are
will say that-
remixing
no,
it and
no,
stuff.
the kids are remixing it.
I got
Hey, look, say whatever you want, and anybody out there can roast them. And I remember Joey saying, "It's like that's my teammate," twerking. Say whatever you want about that.
Got the job done.
Got the job super done. Not only did it get the job done, but it gave us like a good wave to ride into the house. And when the reason that we started playing Minecraft, or the reason that I started playing Minecraft the house, and I was trying to convince them to start playing Minecraft, and for all the fans out there that got mad at them at the time for playing Minecraft, it was my fault, but it was like literally my doing, because I remember speaking to somebody from Activision, no longer works there, and they, I was talking to them about, that they needed to do more for the players, they needed to put up, help somehow, in prize pools or giving MLG more money so they can give it to the players. And then they're like, well, look, and this is true, right? If Activision takes away Call of Duty, then we, whatever. So they sort of said, OpTic wouldn't be as famous as OpTic is if you guys didn't have Call of Duty. So, count your blessings, and that's what it is. And then I'm thinking, and I thought to myself, I'm like, well, it's bullshit, one, that you're saying that, but two, like there's games out there that have like a bigger following at the time that was going on. And then, you know, I gave the example, I'm like, look at C9ers playing Minecraft. Minecraft's getting a ton of views. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna start playing Minecraft. We're gonna prove that OpTic is not bigger than Call of Duty, but that we don't need Call of Duty to be self-sustainable. So I started playing Minecraft in the mornings, and I would come in super early, like at 8 o'clock.
I think that makes it sound too calculated. I actually disagree with you. I don't think it was as calculated as you just explained it.
What do you mean?
I do remember Activision had that mentality and that attitude about them that OpTic and Nadeshot and Scump and Big Time and Merc, they wouldn't be at the top of Twitch if it wasn't for Call of Duty. And at that time, I think that was true. But we proved that by playing a game because we enjoyed it, you were the one that was actually super annoying because you had your desk inside the streaming room and you'd be playing Minecraft and you'd be trying to convince us all to play like, yo, this game is the business, it's so good. Like, I look at, man, I'm fishing, and you'd always talk about fishing and my wheats and my moo cows and all this. And I actually hate it. I'm like, I'm not playing Legos. Fuck that. And then I'll never forget when we finally did Lonely Island, it was just a magical experience. But I only did that out of enjoyment. And I think you did too.
No,
I think
did.
later on, it was really reassuring for us, because we had another moment like that. It was really reassuring that we were able to be on top of Twitch playing Minecraft.
Yeah.
And that was when we sort of had that mentality that, listen, we are making this for ourselves, and we don't need a specific game to do it.
Yeah.
We actually did that with Grand Theft Auto as well. On a whim, on a snap of a finger, we decided that we were going to go pick up Grand Theft Auto the night of and do like a marathon stream. And we were the #1 stream on Twitch. We had like 25,000 people watching us play Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, we went for what, like 72 hours?
24 hour? Yeah.
Yeah,
It
when we got like the crazy SWAT, when we got swatted,
When Cap
all
got-
that.
Cap
That
got
was the first
swatted.
SWAT.
Well, yeah,
Yo,
we're,
but yeah,
we're getting a little bit ahead.
Yeah, but I don't mean to take any credit away from
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the way that you viewed that situation, but I actually don't think us playing Minecraft was very calculated, but I do agree that it helped
I'm going
us.
to tell you why, from our perspective, I say that. Because I remember getting there early and firing up my stream after like trying to get you guys to play. And then obviously it wasn't me and it wasn't Minecraft. You know, the reason that I had like 10 to 11,000 viewers in the morning was because people were like, everybody that wanted to see OpTic or you guys would go to my stream, and since I was the only one streaming, they're like, all right, let's go. And since the camera was facing the entire room,
Yeah, you could see everyone.
You can see everyone. It's like, what do people do in the morning? Essentially, it's like they live in this house. It's the first time that anybody in Call of Duty is not only, creating content out of the house, but that's what happened. And I remember clearly, you woke up one day, and then you saw it, and you're like, oh shit, what the hell? And then that's when you started. That's when we started playing. And then little by little, we started playing and playing. And then Syndicate saw what we were doing and told me, he's like, hey, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna do a series called Haunting OpTic. Because at the time, Syndicate had already been like doing the Minecraft and like literally was King Minecraft at the time.
Syndicate was the god.
Yeah, and then he's like, yo, would it be cool if it'd be so cool if we can create a server and then you guys just roam the thing and then I'm gonna hunt you guys. And I saw that, I was like, yes, please, please put us on your videos, right? Like, let's do that. Still to this day, Hunting OpTic is Syndicate's most watched series.
It's one of the most, people have tweeted me about playing Hunting OpTic. That was the most magical time of video games I could ever remember. Just this dude was hunting us on mountains, and we had no idea
And we didn't
what we were
know
doing.
for weeks. Like, he did such a good job because he didn't just come after us and like kill us. He could have killed the series like super quick, but the fact that he had built out like 9 or 10 of these secret bases, and he was recording our POVs. Like, I had a glass. I remember I had like a glass house in the middle of a lake, and then once we finished the series or whatever, and he goes and posts it, he was stalking me for like days, and he's sitting there looking at me, watching me like pickaxe shit, and he's just talking about how he's gonna kill me in a few days, and he'll like hide in the mountain, and he'll like put his little block back and then go back in. It was just,
bro, it was so crazy. I remember he would become invisible, and at the time I didn't even know how to become invisible.
I didn't even know potions existed.
Yeah, right? And then he's like running through our fields, like grabbing all of our carrots and all of our potatoes, grabbing all our potatoes and all our carrots, and all you see is the little bubbles of him moving around. I'm like, yo, he's here. And yeah, like we I think we overhyped it a little bit as to what was going on. But anyway, that sort of us switching into that game mode sort of gave everybody the idea that, you know what, maybe they don't need a Call of Duty.
We don't need no Call of Duty.
Yeah. you played a couple of them. I remember like I let you play a couple of times, and I made a video about it. It's like he got me killed. That's got like I think 1.3 million views on my channel.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't remember playing Minecraft like at all.
Except for when you were handing out free cash.
Well, yeah, I remember TNT Run, but I don't consider that Minecraft.
We were playing with Fwiz.
That's a damn mini game. Yeah, that's a mini game.
Yeah.
I don't consider that playing Minecraft. Like I didn't do the hunting OpTic.
Yeah, I don't remember you on like an actual server, like
No, yeah,
beating down
skeletons. I like
and-
never played it. I just couldn't get into it. I don't know.
All right. So anyway, getting up in the morning and seeing those viewers, you guys start playing. Because of this morning stream thing that happened, and I was there that early, a sort of competition started. Like who's gonna get up first, and who's gonna start streaming first.
Well, I think by you streaming early, you realized not only was Minecraft bringing in viewers, but you were streaming when nobody else was streaming. So you realized, oh, if I can just be the first one to hit live for the day, then not only will I have those viewers then, but people aren't really gonna, like if somebody goes live at 10 a.m. and then their next favorite streamer goes live at 11, some of them will leave the first stream, but a lot of people are too lazy. They'll just keep watching the first one that they click on. So you'd keep those viewers all throughout the day. So that's kind of what started
The comp.
The comp.
That was the worst thing to ever happen to us, bro.
Yeah.
Was the competition to who could wake up early.
Oh my god, dude.
That was the worst thing that could have happened.
We were on the grind, bro.
Because like we were all working so well together, like trying to build each other up, and then that happened. And once we realized that, everyone was all out for their own.
Yeah.
I don't think you guys even really talked about it either, did you?
No.
You just noticed like progressively somebody wake up 15 minutes
say a
earlier.
word,
Be like, yo, what are you doing up at
does he know what I'm
7:30?
doing?
It's like, oh,
Yeah.
Well, I think like looking back on it now, I mean that was just paranoia, motivation, and just competition.
Yeah.
Because again, none of us were really making great money at that moment in time, and so I actually don't think I actually don't think it was as immature as we think it was back then. I think, well, for me personally, I just didn't want somebody to take money out of my hand, right? Like I had dropped out of college, and of course, like I have an ego. I think everybody has an ego, but it's a matter of keeping it in check and understanding like when you could be proud or confident in yourself and not be. And at that time, like I was one of the biggest players on the team, and I wanted the most people to be watching me because I knew that was going to mean that I could have more of a future with this career that I love. So I was just trying to make money. Like I was out for blood, man. Like I didn't want anybody taking my spot.
Right.
Like I said, I had quit school, I'd quit my job, I'd moved out. I was all in. So it was really bad for us at that time. Like we definitely didn't have the best quality of life. But I actually do think it pushed us sort of forward in a sense where that work ethic and all of that competition that we had really allowed us to take off even further because there was no slacking. I lived there for a year. I didn't even have a bed in my room. It was just an air mattress. We didn't even have a couch. So as much as we hated it at that moment, like you call your room prison, you just had a bottle of lotion, tissues, and a fucking air mattress. We were grinding, brother.
this is a place of work, bro.
We were grinding.
I fucking hated that place.
I loved it there. That's what's so interesting to me.
It was different for me because I would just come over, right? Obviously, but I do remember that's where like from your perspective, obviously you're sitting there and you spend more time in that room with them than I did.
Yeah.
How often did you see, like, did it ever get super heated? Because I have one recording of them arguing over, I don't know what it was, but it was really like a really, really heated argument, and you're yelling at him and he's yelling back at you.
I remember that argument. I don't remember what it was about, but that's what I was saying because you guys wouldn't like talk about the competition. You just kind of knew in the back of your head. So then it would just boil up over months and months, and then finally
punch a hole in the door.
you punched a hole in the door.
Oh yeah, I remember. It was because Seth and I were recording videos together, and we went into league play.
We both went off.
That's
we
what it
both
was.
went off. So Seth, I think he
got double nukes.
no, he
double
got
swarm?
He got double swarm, but I didn't like die that
at
game.
all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was flawless. And Seth's like, oh, I'm uploading it to my channel. I'm like, well, no, I'm uploading that to my channel, bro. I didn't die. He's like, but I got double swarms. I had more kills. I'm like, dude, this was a flawless Masters League play game. It's mine. And so me and Seth had back and forth, and then
And I'm sitting
the rest
there.
is history.
I'm sitting there and I'm recording
hole in
this.
the door.
That's when I was on the
well, that
HGH.
came
show.
down
That's when
later.
Seth was fucking goddamn.
Jacked.
Yeah, that's.
We'll talk about that fight because it did get
Gorilla.
super heated. I had to come and do that. But I remember that I'm recording. I have the recording, right? And you're screaming. He was like, "You're just a fucking asshole." And you're like, "You're so fucking stupid. You're delusional." You guys are this far apart, just yelling at the top of your lungs at each other, right? And I'm thinking in the back of my head, and I'm looking at Will and Merck, and I'm like, they could both upload the video because one perspective, other perspective, literally two different gameplays.
Right.
But they were so competitive at the time. And look, I'm glad that you guys were as competitive as you guys were because I think that it elevated you guys to be who you are today. But at the time, it was hard to see, and it created like this weird vibe because like the team, I didn't want the team to break up, and I'm like man, like they have to get along somehow, and that competition sort of blinded you guys in that very specific instant that said you guys could have uploaded the same footage at the same time, and everybody would have gotten a different experience.
Well, it still gets less views though.
Nowadays, I'd have no problem doing
Yeah,
that.
nowadays, obviously now I wouldn't have an issue with that.
Yeah.
I actually, you know what? Seth and I got into like arguments here or there over business, but I don't remember there being that weird
Animosity?
vibe. Yeah, animosity. I mean, maybe from time to time it felt weird being around each other because after those arguments, I mean, you're shoulder to shoulder with somebody that you just got in a huge blowout.
Yeah.
But I mean, for me, that house was one of my favorite chapters of my life, and so. It was. I mean, I personally, it sucked when Seth moved out for a little bit. When I don't remember when that was, but yeah, I mean, Seth and I always got in arguments. Him and I both want to be the best. We want to be the biggest. We want to make the most money. That just egos clashed.
Like you said, it also had its positive benefits too, though, because we had been competing in COD for so long. I don't think we really realized what competition outside of COD looked like. So it did push everybody to keep competing and keep that strong work ethic for creating content, videos, streaming, and we're still doing
We
it.
definitely have good work ethic.
Right.
Yeah, 100%.
to.
Everyone did. No, everyone did. And you know, to everyone's credit in the house, it would have been really easy to upload like the drama side of OpTic and really like get the views because it would have gotten views. But the
Imagine
amount
if we were vlogging back then. Jesus.
Yeah. So the amount, like that fight that I have in the X Files, if I uploaded that,
Imagine if you uploaded that.
You should.
Oh, no.
Holy shit,
no, I
bro.
mean, well, I never do because I don't know if you guys would be like, okay, like I would love to put it as
I'd have to watch it.
Hell no. Send it for approvals, brother.
Yeah, no, I will send it for approvals, but
I'm gonna strike that shit down.
I would have to watch it, bro.
yeah, no.
This man's using copyright on my likeness.
Yeah, so that's the thing though. Like we had this like sort of ideological view of what OpTic was supposed to be, that we more often than none sacrificed easy ways to get ahead in terms of like the viewership.
Yeah, there was definitely a lot of entertainment value. I mean, that's really what we were doing, and I think that's what esports continues and to be and still needs a lot of is like esports down to the very competition is good and all, and it'll continue to grow at a healthy rate, but the way that it should be viewed is esports is entertainment, and a lot of people don't realize that. That's why I'm so happy that pros are scrimming on stream again this year for Call of Duty.
I'm leading that charge.
Yeah, you're doing a fantastic job.
I'm not letting my team not stream this year.
And you're absolutely crushing it, man. And it's like even now too, being a part of like the LCS community, these players are so quiet and they don't. I mean, this is kind of off topic, but I'll just bring it out there.
Yeah, please.
For League of Legends specifically, I don't know how much you guys watch. Dude, when these guys like lose a scrim or if they lose a match, they'll just say, oh, they were the better team today. Dude. And I'm telling these guys, I'm like, yo, you guys gotta want it. Like when we used to lose a map in scrims, it was fuck that. These kids are trash. We had a bad map, we're going off. We're coming for blood the next map. We're like, I want to beat the shit out of them on stage. And I just think that esports holistically, everybody needs to understand that there is a necessity for entertainment.
Absolutely.
And that's something that OpTic did really well.
Yeah, and we're
circling
not
it all
saying,
back.
and we've never been the type to say, yo, WWE this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, don't add like, but do take the liberty to offer a little bit of emotion for everybody to see. Like, I understand being, you know, big timer, like ice cold, like losing F it, you know, winning, awesome. But you know, if you give like the little bit of the oomph to let people know how you really feel, then you're connecting, because now you're opening up yourself to really be a part of something a little bit more. Anyway, so we go to UMG Philadelphia in 2013. You know, now I'm gonna tell you why.
14, right? Wasn't it January? I mean, it's
January,
close.
yeah, January, yeah,
Of 2014.
14. Yeah. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because it is what is called the dark ages of OpTic. It was a really, really dark time because in one weekend we lost two two pillars of OpTic, right? And we, Big Time retires that weekend.
Who was the other?
No, same weekend. You retired that weekend, and
I left.
and he left.
This is when I left.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, right after UMG Philly.
Yeah.
Me and Ricky went upstairs after we lost and slept for like 8 hours.
Yep.
And then I woke up, went downstairs, and who's
I don't remember
downstairs?
that.
Mike Castro.
Oh,
Come
no.
here, Seths. He was like, come here, vent to me.
Yeah. So
It's like, I can't fucking stand this.
yeah.
How are we getting top 16? It's dropped to 1.3.
That was our worst placing, right? 13th or 14th,
So we
something
got
like that.
O2 came back on by phase.
Yeah,
Remember that?
Yeah, we were kicking the shit out
We
of
were
FaZe.
actually
and they ended
pretty
up-
good, and
they
then we
ended
just
up
shit the
winning, right?
sheets.
We were pretty good. We just choked.
Yeah.
They won the tournament, or they ended up getting second or
no.
third
They
or
made,
something
yeah,
like
they
that?
made it to the grand finals.
Yeah,
I
that's
think.
what it was. Yeah.
Who phase?
Yeah.
Because I remember we
believe.
kept saying, like, oh, we pretty much.
I mean, that's how COD is.
Yeah.
You could 3-0 a team one series, then not win another map.
Right.
So yeah. So again, is the dark time for OpTic, right? Because you retire, and then later that night I'm having a business dinner with somebody, and then you come in and say, or somebody comes in and say, hey, I want to talk to you about Seth, and I'm like, yeah, what's up? He's like, Seth's leaving and going to Envy. And the second that happens, and we just talked about this in the podcast with Astro.
I can't wait to tell the story. When we
I
got
can't
back
wait to tell
home.
this story, dude.
Okay, so anyway, as this is happening, I'm like, my heart drops because I remember I'm like, holy shit, I didn't have him sign a contract. And at the time, between us, contract wasn't a thing. Like Nadeshot and I never had a contract with each other.
Yeah.
No, we did not.
Never. Huh?
I said, no, we did not.
Am I missing something?
Nah, bro, you could. Huh? Nah, we never. What was
A player contract.
Yeah, player
or
contract.
Any other contract. Anyway, should have waited. You know what I'm saying? Well,
I know what you're saying.
So I immediately thought, I'm like, no, he can't leave. And then I'm like, dang, he didn't sign a contract. So this dude leaves. I have to go upstairs, and I literally told Nadeshot, I'm like, what do you want to do? This dude is mad, and you were there.
I was there.
He's like, yo, Seth's leaving, and he says that he'll stay if you leave, or whatever. And I remember going upstairs, and I'm like, bro, the fact that he is even talking about leaving, you have my loyalty, Nade. We're gonna do whatever the fuck you want. Fuck that dude. That's what I said. And then, sure enough, this dude, I go down. I'm like, Seth, reconsider it. Blah 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 blah. And then he's like, no, I can't play with him. I can't play with him because I remember losing. We got what, top 16?
Yeah.
We lost to someone. It was the final match,
We didn't
and
do good.
Huh?
We didn't do good.
We didn't do good. We come back upstairs. I have my camera out. Nadeshot is talking to Seth. Then Will is talking to Nade and Seth, and then Ricky's throwing in his like thing, and we're sitting there. I'm just sitting there, just like, I'm like, oh my god, I'm getting like the best content that this is gonna be. It's like compelling content. This content is the sort of content that would have gone in Vision, right? Or that's what I was trying to do at the time, like, you know what I'm saying, like a reality show. And anyway, so that sort of conversation, Seth did that, but I want to talk about what happened on the way back, Seth. On the way back, you had to travel back to Chicago with us. Everybody gave you the cold shoulder. Tell me, what went on? What happened with you?
Dude, it's like a blur, but I just remember sitting at the airport. You guys were all together. I'm like way off over to the side. I didn't even like talk to you guys on the way home. So we get on the plane, go back. I forget what happened.
Were you sitting next to somebody on the plane? I don't remember that.
I don't remember.
You probably changed sheets.
Imagine me and Seth had seats next to each other.
If we did, I definitely had my headphones in because I don't remember talking to anyone,
Right.
like looking at you guys. I don't remember like anything like that. Like I was like hate, like fuck these guys. I was so mad. But so we get back. I can't remember what happened like in the hours that we landed to later at night, but I remember leaving like early in the morning. Like I remember leaving at 2 or 3 in the morning. Right?
Yeah, because you didn't sleep there. We got back, you packed
that's
up,
what I'm
and
saying.
left.
So I don't know what I did in those hours when
Yeah.
we were back home, but I remember it was winter time in Chicago. So it was very cold out.
Yeah.
It had just finished snowing a lot.
It was the first time ever that Chicago, in my lifetime, hit negative 56 degrees with the wind chill.
It was that day when we
was
were
that day.
standing out the
Wait,
airport.
that was then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember we stepped out and we said that our skin shrunk?
They had the frostbite warning.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
said you couldn't be outside for more than like 5 minutes.
And I was outside for a good like 15 minutes shoveling the driveway because there was ice at the end of it. You guys remember?
Yeah.
you had to get your
Because of the
car out.
I
plows.
literally could not get out of the driveway. So I'm outside for like 30 minutes straight in these slippers, not this exact pair, but the same slippers. And I was wearing socks underneath. So the water from like the ice and stuff got into my fucking socks. So my feet felt like they were going to fall off on the way home for like 2 hours until the car hit like 90 degrees inside.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. You actually got back to the crib and just put all your shit in there and left. And we
Literally.
had no idea.
Yeah.
Dipped.
We didn't realize you were leaving.
I put my shit in, didn't say a word to anyone, went outside for no joke 30 minutes, shoveled my way out, left at like 2 in the morning, 10-hour drive home to PA.
I can't believe that.
Yeah.
That's how pissed off
yeah,
I
We
was.
were
remember
shocked.
Yeah, I woke up that morning and I remember you were gone. I recorded that video, got like 250K. I was like, all right.
Oh, on the back porch?
Yeah,
I remember that one.
I was out.
Well, we were just sitting in the living room, just so confused that we were like, did he actually leave? We
Yeah.
went up to his room, all the stuff was gone. We couldn't believe it. And then this next part of the story is my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love this part.
What? When I come back?
No, well, hold on.
Oh wait, what I said to you?
No, hold on. Don't jump the gun, my
Wait,
man.
you're saying what I said to you though?
No, I don't remember actually what you said to me. What did you say to me?
You don't remember?
No.
It's the
This
like
is like-
most historic quote I've ever said to you.
To keep your enemies.
Keep your friends
Remember the
close, but
text?
keep your enemies close.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's something. Yeah. I thought that's what you were talking about.
sent me the text.
Yeah.
That's the
Back
most
and forth.
badass quote,
Because
though, right?
because I was texting Seth like, yo, man, like what, bro, what happened? Like, I thought we were friends. Like,
Yeah.
I knew we could, like, you're
right.
like,
It felt like a breakup.
well,
It was like a really bad, like
and
malicious breakup.
Listen, I have no need to do this, and I'm not saying it to make myself sound better, but at that time, like, I didn't even consider us like enemies. I just thought that at certain times you could be immature and irrational, but I always considered us
Well, I
friends.
obviously didn't mean it. I was just mad and blind
I
raging
know,
at
but
you.
like looking back on it, just like I always consider us friends, and in that moment, bro, I showed the text to Hector, and it is keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer. I was like, oh my god, bro, this dude is a fucking psycho.
I was 18. I was on HGH or something.
What's HGH?
This is when I had to take those pills for my
Oh,
face. So
yeah.
I was like,
Accutane.
so I was fucking raging like
Yeah,
all
yeah.
the time because they sucked.
Gonna take over here for like 2 seconds.
Yeah, please do.
So Seth leaves the team, called it a ghost. In that hotel room too, I said, no, you should take him. Like, I'll leave the
You
team.
did.
I said, I'll leave the
You
team.
did.
I'll just go back to YouTube. Thank God, because I didn't actually mean it. I was just saying it. I didn't actually mean that. So we get back. We're trying to figure the whole thing out. And I think it was me, Ricky, and we picked up Dito.
Mm-hmm.
And who was the other person and it was Bose. It was me, Ricky, Bose, and Dito, I think. Right? Or was it me?
It was a revolving, as I have it written down right here, okay? Talk about the revolving door of replacements.
Oh, it evolved.
Oh,
no,
yeah.
but I just want to know, it was the 5K or the 2K right after Seth had left. And Dito replaced, so I think it was me, Clay, Bose, and Dito.
Mm-hmm.
That's the team. It was me, Clay, Bose, and Dito.
Was it?
And we were fucking running through that tournament. This dude, Dito, was turning up. And I think we ended up, we didn't win it, but I think we got like second or third,
Mm-hmm.
and Envy got their asses beat. Seth only had like 3,000 people watching him. I had like 15, 20K, and I knew exactly what Seth was thinking. Dude. He was like, oh, fuck. He was like, I thought these people were going to come with me.
Yeah.
I can't believe, these guys are going to be terrible without me. And bro, here we are turned up with fucking Dito. And then literally that night, I think it was, Hector sent me a text. He's like, yo, Scump wants to come back.
No, I was in the
Explain
house.
it, yo, because I don't actually know the
Okay,
story. So explain to me what was going through your head and be honest.
Exactly what you said. I was like, fuck.
No, I want to hear you say it, bro. I want to hear you say it.
Well, no, I had more viewers than you're saying now.
Oh, for real?
So it wasn't like that bad.
Oh, well, so explain what happened. Explain what happened. I want to hear it.
I don't know. We got smoked, so I wanted to come back.
Was it that fast though? Because I thought you were
It was a
gone
week.
for
No,
like
it was-
2 months. Or
Was it a
something.
week? I thought it was like 3 days.
No, it was a week. It was a full week because I remember we saw you and we were keeping track. You went from like the first time that you played with Envy, you had 10,000. The following day you had 8,000. And then the following day you had 5,000 and Clay had 6,000. And then you just kept on getting lower and lower. And then you know, obviously, hey, and look, I'm glad that I won.
Imagine if I didn't come back.
I know, bro, listen to me. I don't want to imagine that life where you're not, you know, when I don't have any motherfuckers in my life like this. You know
Imagine
what I'm saying?
though.
And I don't want to, I just said.
That shit would've been-
but bro,
where would I be?
this dude texts me, he's like, I want to come back. And then I'm like, oh shit, I run upstairs and I'm like, yo, Matt, come on. And then Matt either wasn't streaming or creating a video, but he comes downstairs and I'm like, yo, this dude wants to come back. And he's like, call him right now. Call him right now. I'm like, oh shit. So I'm like, I call you, and then me and Matt go in the laundry room. Matt sits on the what do you call it? On the washing machine, puts it on speaker, and then we have this conversation. And then he's like, well, look, man, I never had any problems with you, man. We should have just talked about this and that. And then you said, it's like, well, dude, I was fucking raging and mad. You were fucking coming at me super hard for the loss and blah, 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 blah. And then, oh, no.
You guys left the decision up to me.
Yeah.
Like all of our teammates, like Clay and Bose, like we all talked about it.
Well, yeah, because you were the only OG left.
Well-
At that time, was he the only one left?
Yeah.
As soon as you told me that Scump wanted to come back, I knew that we had to bring him back. Because, you know, for what it's worth, like Seth was actually the best, like probably the best player at Call of Duty Ghosts, in my opinion. And as soon as I heard he wanted to come back, especially how well we played with Dito, I knew that we could make something work. And so I was like, we gotta bring him back. Even though I was fucking mad at him.
We didn't end up teaming with Dito though.
No, you replaced Dito.
Hell no.
No, you replaced Dito, and then you came on for Dito. So it was you, Matt, Bose, and Clay.
Then we went up to Champs, dropped Bose, picked up Proof, won X Games. And we got second at Anaheim. We should have won that event, but I fucked
Should have
us
won
over.
champs.
Yeah, Envy turned up with Rambo, the god.
No, we should have beat EG. We threw against EG. We should have beat them and gone to grand finals.
Bose went 4-23 on sovereign
didn't do much
domination.
better?
Yeah, I know, but Bose did worse than me, so I get to bring that
Wait,
up.
that was in a champs match, or what match
11
was
and
it?
27 combined.
I can't
on the
believe that to
second
this
side.
day.
Hold on, let's
I
talk-
really
let's
can't.
talk-
I
let's talk
choked,
about
man.
the
I'm so-
revolving.
Seth, I'm sorry, bro.
It's all good. People just roast me for not having rings, and
Hey, you made it pretty far, bro, and you were getting the bag the whole time. What's wrong?
You were getting the bag the whole time.
Duffy boys.
What do you want? You want championships or you want the bag? We literally talk about the love of the love of competition versus a livelihood.
I'll always be a competitor first.
I'm competitive in everything I do.
I don't. There's no lines. Anyway, let's talk.
Nothing makes me happier than going to tournaments and competing.
I do miss it. Will you miss
Yeah.
it at all?
I do miss the
Once-
competing aspect. I don't miss like the practicing aspect.
No, the practice.
Like watching these guys
Obviously,
practice
no one likes
every
to practice.
Yeah,
No
every
one-
day, like 7-8 hours. I've been grinding this cut more than the past 5 years, but I can't imagine.
Are you gonna go play at Vegas?
Nah, probably not. I was thinking about it for a moment, but
It is a lot.
it's a lot. Dude.
It's a lot. And to
and kids
keep
these
up-
days are playing even more
Yeah,
than
to
when
keep
I
up
played.
nowadays, you saw it last year with me. I didn't
Right.
play the game and I fucking sucked.
Yeah.
So like you have to play outside of like scrims and stuff. You have to go the extra mile now to even compete with these
yeah.
top teams.
Yeah, I miss it, man.
All right. So in between this thing, when he retires, so that happened. This guy retires and says, "You're gonna see more of me than you ever have in the past. I'm gonna be content creation." But the opposite thing happens. This dude locks himself in a room for 3 months, bro. Well,
Probably longer than that, man.
The Wolf of Weed Street.
the wolf,
God.
the Wolf of Weed Street.
Oh, we should probably put that on in there.
Yeah, penny stocks, right? It's just legal. You're
said
but-
you don't
I'm
want
not trying to cut you off. Go ahead, because yeah, this part was kind of weird too.
yeah. I wanna hear it from the horse's mouth, though.
Sure. Just the whole situation?
Yeah.
Well, because Big Timer retired, and we thought that, you know, like you said, he was gonna be. You're gonna see even more of me. You know,
Right.
I'm not
Well, that was
going
part of the
nowhere.
reason I retired is because the same time, right around that UMG Philly event, I started doing like the skits on YouTube, and I was doing like the Valentine's Day thing, which was
Ooh,
that
so good, bro.
February, and they were doing like 500,000 views, 600,000 views, and I was like, holy shit, I'm just gonna do this. This is fun. And I was already tired, like I was living through your guys' shit at the end of.
You were low key a genius, bro. Like third person shooters, like waking up to PewDiePie, it's like pro fist him, and then ending it with like, and then ending the video with like no lights. It's just a dark screen. All you hear is.
Dude, it was so good.
Yeah, the day in the life video. Yeah, that's the stuff that I thought, okay, I could retire and just make content. And then that February happened, and I ended up just, throwing my I think I had 50,000 saved up, my life savings, and over the course of the next 2 months, I ran that from like $50,000 to $980,000 or something like that. And then that's when
Gang.
That's insane.
And then ended up over the course of the next couple of years losing a lot of it. But it at least like sparked my interest so much that I said, all right, I'm gonna do a complete 180, like fuck this. I had still planned always to come back to do YouTube, but I knew if I wanted to continue to trade correctly, I would have to actually learn how to do it. In order to do that, it was gonna take just a sickening, stupid work ethic. So yeah, I locked myself in my room for probably like 18 months, and then finally once
I would remember going. I remember coming in and checking in to make sure that he was alive and shit because I hadn't seen him in like 3 days. Remember that?
We would only see Will if we went into his room. You know, we'd always go knock on the door because everybody loved hanging out with him. And you know, there'd be nights he'd come hang out, play like Mario Kart, or we played Madden or NBA or anything like that. But I mean, he completely quit YouTube, which we were trying to figure out what was going on. I remember he was giving me trading advice at one point. I was like, "Yo, can you just trade for me?" And I didn't know anything about it. And I just had not realized how hard he was actually working at that time to learn the ins and outs of trading. So, yeah, man, it was a weird period of time when he just completely
50 to
quit.
900K, bro.
Well,
Imagine-
even that,
so-
man, it just
Don't
sucked.
undermine it.
It just sucked not being able to see him.
That's a milli. Let's round it up.
Yeah, that's
980?
right. Yeah, don't. Bro,
got
imagine
real
if it
close.
would have been 100. That would have been 2 million. Imagine if it would have been 500,000.
But it was luck. It was stupid, dumb luck. I mean, the fact that you put $50,000, like your entire life savings, into penny stocks in the first place is the dumbest thing you could possibly do. But the fact that it worked was even more dumb. So it was like a blessing and a curse at the same time. It was a blessing in the sense that it piqued my interest and I found something besides YouTube and competing that I was passionate about.
$980,000 pique your interest for me?
Oh, dude, really, bro?
Yeah. But it was a curse because, I thought I was a fucking genius and I had everybody around me telling me I was. And in reality, I had no idea what I was doing. But yeah, man, it was...
That's actually crazy to think about because I still, to this day, thought you were a genius. To
Yeah,
hear you
I
say
did
I was
too.
an idiot
Yeah,
just
I was
throwing
fucking-
money and shit. That's actually hilarious.
No,
Yeah,
but I remember like knocking in and walking in, and then this dude would be like listening to a seminar. I'm like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm about to listen to the seminar," and I'm thinking, I'm like, on what? He's like, "Yes, on trading and stuff," and I'm like, you know what we should do? We should get a sponsor, right? And if they give us 250,000, we should just put it all on that, and then we can start like our own fund.
I remember that, yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
We're gonna start our own fund, our own investment fund between just everyone. So we're all gonna be like, all right, nobody gets money from the sponsorship. We all pull it, and then Will manages it, and then we make some.
We would have lost all that shit.
Really?
It would have been bad. Yeah, I mean, if we had thrown that on the penny stocks. Yeah, I didn't even see it as work at the time, but it was the first time in years where I woke up at 7 a.m. with no alarm clock, and 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. or 8 p.m. I was infatuated with it. I couldn't stop. So still to this day, still crazy about it.
What is one of the most memorable for you? One of the most memorable moments at 60/50.
Most memorable moments. It's probably something we already talked about. I think first moving in and having that experience, because like I said, it was such a leap of faith for me. I just dropped out of college. I was the first person in my immediate family or even outside. What do you call not your immediate family? Mm-hmm. Your
Second family?
second family?
No, right?
Anyway, I didn't know anybody that had moved out of extended family. There you go. That had moved out of Arkansas. So yeah, it was a huge leap of faith, and yeah, just those early days, sleeping on the air mattresses, seeing like success from the get go, and realizing like, hey man, we might actually have something here. That's something that'll stick with me.
Yeah.
Garibaldi's cookies.
Oh, dude. Anything that you would change? One thing that you would change?
I'd probably try to balance doing YouTube and doing the trading thing the best I could. I probably wouldn't completely go in the dark for 18 months. It's always a hard thing.
Yeah, but you
to
didn't
fight
though,
back
because
from.
I remember that we did the 24-hour live stream when a new game. What game? When Jacob was living there at the
GTA.
time.
That was the
That's
GTA stream. Yeah.
Was it GTA?
That's when we got swatted, yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember getting a phone call saying, "Yo, we just got swatted." And at the time, this was like 2014, 15? 2014, and we had curtains hanging from the bridge, right?
Yeah.
So when you walk in, you see like a bridge of the stairs going across the thing, and I remember vividly getting a phone call and
Let me tell this shit after you're done because I was literally there. Like I saw everything that happened from start to finish.
Were
so
you awake?
You finish and then
I'm
I'll
just,
tell.
I'm just setting the scene
Yeah.
because we had no furniture, right?
No, we did.
No, we had the brown
We had
couch.
this-
We had the brown couch,
we had the
but,
setup.
but
We were
we
playing
still,
on it.
but we still had, air mattresses. We had lawn chairs. We had a big green screen curtain blocking the sun from the main entrance. So I'm thinking, as a cop, if I walk in, what do you see in movies? You know, like curtains and plastic to separate like the sorting of the cocaine from like somewhere else.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, I'm like, man, these dudes think, you know, we have nice cars. He's got the M3 in the back. What?
I did.
You did?
I was cocaine capping, you know what I'm saying?
Cocaine captain. But anyway, you saw it firsthand. What happened?
So it was like 5 a.m. I had just finished my shift because we were doing the block schedule like 3 hours each, right?
Yeah.
Or whatever it was. So I'm envision the house. I go upstairs. I'm on the railing. Cap's still down there. He was next. I look over. I'm like talking to Cap. Next thing I see a bright light because you know how the side like curtains you could see through them
Yeah.
from the like
Yeah, it didn't completely cover the window.
Yeah, it didn't completely cover the window. So I saw lights like shining through those, and I was like, "Yo, what is that?" And Cap's like, "Yo, Seth, are there kids here?" And I'm like looking from upstairs, like scared as shit. So I see the lights shine in, and I'm like, "Bro, we're about to die." So I run into my room after that. Like I run into my room, close the door, lock it, because I'm like,
you said,
I'm not
"Fuck
dealing.
Cap."
I thought there were kids like trying to fuck with us or something. So I'm like, I'm not dealing with this. I'm going in my room. That's it.
That's when Cap came up to my room, woke me up, and said kids were playing a prank on us.
Yeah, so that's when I hear a banging on the door downstairs. So I come out of my room and I'm like, this can't be real. Like, there's no way this is real. So I go downstairs. I go halfway down and all I hear is police. And I'm like, fuck that again. I go back into my room, lock it again, and the next thing I know is just the cops banging on my door, like, open up. I open the door and there's just an AR-15 like pointed at my face. And I was like, I just was shocked. I was like, don't shoot. And then we all went downstairs. They put us in the side room where we had the pre-LAN eventually.
Yep.
And they had us literally on the floor, like execution style. Like hands behind our back with AR-15s just like standing in front of us.
Did they have his hands behind her back?
No, I don't
No,
remember.
I don't think it was hands behind our back, but they had us literally sitting like this.
Yeah.
Well, because
Like
because Scump went into his room and locked the door, and Cap woke me up, I had to walk downstairs and open the front door. And
You're the one who answered the door initially?
yeah, so I opened the front door,
said, "Fuck that."
and at the same time, that's when they came in the back sliding glass door with the ARs.
I was like, fuck that, I'm going to my
I didn't know that. I thought they all came through the front. You're saying they like broke into the back of the house?
No,
as
they
came in?
opened the back door. They
Because
opened
it was
the back
always
door.
unlocked.
It was always unlocked.
Right.
Should we tell them the other part about it? That's what I was planning on playing. I mean,
The plate?
We're pretty
Yeah.
far removed
Yeah,
now.
what
Like,
the-
would it really matter?
I don't
plate?
think so.
No, I
but
hit
that's
him,
what
man.
made
Hit
it
him.
so
You
sketchy.
talking about the plate?
No.
We're talking about the
Can we talk about
weed.
it?
Yeah, on the plate.
Yeah, fuck it. No, so listen. Here's the thing. We had so much goddamn stinky weed.
We were high as fuck.
Oh man, we had a lot of weed in the house. Them fools were. Well, we all were. Nah, we can't talk about this.
Why not?
I've never told anybody that I used to smoke weed.
Bro, it's
Bro,
legal.
you're a grown man now. Too.
Yeah.
I know you want me to start talking about this. Yeah,
It's hilarious.
It's legal in California now. I actually don't smoke weed anymore, but at the time, you know, at the house, we did smoke weed. Like we had weed in the house, and this is actually I'm so glad I get to tell this story. This is the craziest moment in my life because I have no idea how it happened.
Ultimo clutcho.
I
Oh, yeah.
cannot make this up.
Was it you that put it back in the drawer?
Hold on, let him.
I cannot make this up. So like even when we were doing the Grand Theft Auto stream, anytime that you guys would see us go off camera for the streamer that was playing at that moment, they were going into the kitchen to rip the bowl and just, you know,
Like 10 feet away from
yeah,
the
just
camera.
10 feet away, get blazed a little bit, and then come back and keep playing.
Yeah.
But our house at that time, we didn't have maids or anything, or we had maids that would come like every 3 weeks. And the house was filthy. It was disgusting. And in the kitchen especially, it was just like 3 grinders, a bong, 2 bowls, residue everywhere. It was terrible. And at that moment, I don't know what compelled me to do it, But I think I just got so grossed out by the fact that we had weed everywhere and it just wasn't a good look. I cleaned off all the counter. I pushed all the weed to the side, put it in my hand, threw it out, all the shake, put the bags, the bowls, the grinders in cabinets and in drawers. And I told Cap, all right, I'm going to bed. But if you smoke again, make sure that you put it away. And I still to this day don't know what compelled me to be as compulsive I was about it. But that's the night that we got swatted. And throughout all the house with the cops coming in, the house reeked of weed.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. One of the cops walked in and went, I can smell something.
Yeah, it smelled like.
But they can't do anything about it anyway.
Well, at that time though, that's what the biggest issue for us was, because we knew that they smelled weed, and they knew that we knew. That they knew that the weed was there, but they weren't there to search the house, so we thought we were good. But the next 5 hours of that night, we were up until 4 o'clock in the morning trying to figure out should we flush this weed down the toilet?
We were like, no, we should just smoke it. We gotta flush it. Yeah, it started getting light outside, man. We thought they were coming back with the.
We thought they would can they come back with warrants? Our house was close to a school. We were thinking this could be
we started looking up
intent to distribute, because we have an ounce and a half of weed in the house because we didn't like to leave. We wanted enough weed to go. Yeah. I don't know if we can put this in there, man.
Yeah, well, we can. 100% we can.
Yeah.
Or not. It's your choice.
I mean, I'm up for whatever. For what it's worth, I do want to put the disclaimer is, when you're in high school and you're in college, I'm sure you guys all have this experience, but, marijuana, I think, and now a lot of places, especially in California, it's legal for recreational use. 10 states in the United States, it's available for recreational use.
All of Canada.
I'm an incredible believer in the use of medicinal marijuana. For what it's worth, though, I don't smoke weed anymore.
You can't. You get panics.
No, I started having panic attacks, and that's why I used to love smoking, but I quit. I haven't smoked weed in 4 years.
Yeah, and the thing about what we're talking about now is that in literal 2 years, people are going to be like, oh my God, I can't, who cares? It's who cares that you smoke? And for what it's worth, our fans are smart enough to know that, at times that happens.
Yeah, and
but
it's
we'll
stuff to talk about.
We haven't. Because they were saying that night that we went out, 2 nights ago, that we were. Anyway, we didn't. But
I quit. I legitimately quit smoking weed 4 years ago, but I still really believe in it as from a medicinal standpoint and recreational standpoint, as long as you're responsible.
Yeah. All right, let's start winding down and closing it down, okay?
Dude, this is so much to unpack. I feel like there's so much that we did.
Yeah, what else do you have on your paper here?
No, let's close it down, but we'll have to. I'm telling you, man, we could start an entire podcast.
We are going to start an entire podcast called 6050 Russell Drive. That's why this is the advertisement path.
Dude, there's so many stories.
I was going to say we at least need a part 2 or part 3 of this, because there's still a lot more on the.
There's just so many stories that we don't even remember, and we'll segue into something and be like, you remember that, and then that'll just there's so many different things that happen. And
honestly, too, when everything's said and done with our careers, there's so many more stories that we could tell that people would fucking love.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just opened the door on this one just a little bit.
I'm telling you, man.
There's a lot.
I can't wait until we don't have to worry about making money in our careers, because we would tell some fun-ass stories.
That's why we started the OpTic X-Files.
Well, even some of the stuff we did can't be in the X-Files.
The fuck? What did we do?
Something me and Will did.
Oh, shit. That's never coming out, bro.
Yo, cut the tape.
That's going to the grave with me.
Oh, man. Yo, you just brought it up, right? Yeah. He ain't going to say that. All right. Oh man, you know what? I don't think that there's anything
else. Can we
else.
hit that fucking blunt now? No.
There is literally nothing else to discuss, man. I think that this is one proof that if we do a 6050 Russell Drive podcast, it's going to be lit because of the amount of stuff that we need to unpack, like you said. But, and if you think about it, we haven't talked. There's seasons to 6050, right? Crimsix lived there, JCap, Clayster. Flamesword, Embos, Proofy.
And each group of people had a different dynamic and would do different things, and it was just, yeah, man.
Yeah, so we definitely need to get that up and running. But anything that you guys remember that you guys want to talk about before we get out?
No, last thing that I would add is I miss it so much. Just being here this last week has been fucking incredible. That's why I've been so salty that nobody's been coming to the office, because it's I left Chicago to move to LA, and then you guys got like an even better house. And sometimes I regret it, man, because I mean, I don't regret it because I learned a lot about myself and I worked on other things. But 60-50 was probably the best moments of my life. And I miss it a lot. I miss hanging out with you guys. And shit, man, if they would have found that weed, bro, we were going to jail for a while. We definitely would have went to jail.
Oh, for sure. We looked it up online. We were,
Yeah. I
would not
we were
have went to
panicking
jail.
for 3 hours.
It wasn't. I
You
think,
would have snitched?
Hell yeah.
nah,
if
man,
you-
I miss it, dude. The Garibaldi's cookies, Bona Beef, Shoe Factory Road, going to the mall, bro.
We should go back with a vlog.
Weber Grill.
with
That's
the
what me and
friends.
Hector wanted to do this week. We were gonna like hop on a flight to Chicago and go.
Yeah?
We
Ride
should-
down Shoe Factory?
Man, just making money with your fucking boys and like, oh, we can do this for the rest of our lives. It was cool, man. I miss it.
Just sucks because we'll never, ever, ever get anything like that again. It's sort of like graduating from school in a sense. Like
Yeah.
you have your ups and downs through it, but then after it's done, it's always like you look back on it and wish you could just
That
have
was
like
our
one
frat.
day.
I didn't go to college, so that to me
I
was
didn't go to
also
college.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm
that's
saying
what I
high
was gonna
school,
say.
frat house. You
high
know?
school as well. Like I
Minus
loved
the
high
girls.
school.
For real?
Yeah, 60-50 was dry for y'all, dude.
Speak for your goddamn.
What you talking about?
Want to drive for me?
But besides the point, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
we'll look back on that and we'll never experience anything like it again. So
Right.
Well, yeah, and the last thing I'll say to that point is that I actually disagree. Because I always tell Hector, I'm like, yo, man, I'm telling you, bro, like all of us are in a pretty good place. We're making money.
if we did a house now, oh, forget about it.
No, homie, I'm talking about like buying houses on the same goddamn cul-de-sac. Is all I'm talking about.
Move in.
Hey, man.
Well, no, so I'm saying like we get our own cul-de-sac. You have your own house, your privacy. You have your own house, your privacy. You know.
Back in Chicago, I'm with it.
Yeah, I'm down. I need a couple more years to finish out what I started with 100 Thieves, but after, I'm down. Dude, I mean, what am I going to do? Like, I don't plan on getting married, having kids.
We have long lives ahead of us.
Well, hopefully,
We got the
unless there's like a
hangover.
I got
tragic
the hangover
accident and
vibe
somebody
coming
dies.
That's true. I got to get on a plane next week.
Nobody heard that.
What?
Said I got to get on a plane next week. So.
I still got to get back to LA.
Oh, you're fucked for sure.
My favorite thing to do, even though I hated flying, is me and Hector be on the what is it called?
The bridge.
The jet bridge, and every time it was like my ritual. I turn around at Hector and I go, "Yo, Hex, what if we just go?" And the people around us be like,
Yeah, I'd be like, what the fuck? Come on, man, embarrassing. And bad juju. Anything else?
No, I mean, I think we covered a lot of it. Hopefully we can actually start like a 60-50 podcast.
Yeah.
At least talk.
Would you guys mind? And this is for you guys. Leave a comment, rating, or whatever. Would you guys mind doing it off location, or do you guys want to do it in location?
Man, it sucks, man, because you guys are all in Texas. I'm just such a cynic when it comes to quality. I mean, I'm down to do it over the internet. I have a really good mic setup, so I know my quality will be really great. But I just hate having like different cameras and different quality. But I'm up for whatever. I have time. I definitely could do a podcast. I mean, I'm doing a 100 Thieves podcast, but I can definitely do a 60-50.
I could do it. I don't do shit. I stream.
I am with it.
All right. Well, you guys heard it. Thank you for stopping by, us boys. Let's
We're
do
not,
this.
well,
thing.
we're not uploading to the OpTic Gaming YouTube channel, though, is all I'm saying.
What?
Oh shit.
No, we're not. No, individual.
Here we go.
Yeah, here we go. Who? Alphabetical order. Big Timer goes first, and then episode 2 goes on Seth. Episode 3 goes on Merckx. Episode 4 goes on yours. Episode
That's
5
not
goes on mine.
alphabetical order.
Oh, fuck. How did I just end up number 4? Me and Seth about to get in a fight again.
That's not alphabetical order, though.
No, we
You
definitely
said-
got to go by gamer
Numerical. I was
tags.
just a joke.
We should just make a new channel, bro. We should make a
60-50.
There you go.
Okay,
Bro.
there we go.
Ooh.
Ooh,
Oh,
no.
we got
Sponsors,
do we
hit
got a
us.
new business venture?
Oh, dude, we're out here creating beautiful things. Anyway, thank you for stopping by, everybody. As I said, this is syndicated across all audio platforms where you would listen to podcasts: Stitcher, SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcast, and that's about it. Oh, and
SoundCloud.
YouTube. SoundCloud. Thank you. So leave a like, leave a rating, leave a comment down below. Thank you for stopping by. We'll see you guys in the next one. Hit them with the music or something. I don't remember the outro.